make sure that we go out and express ourselves and play the game the way we want to play it.
A lot of people talk about keeping the ball in hand. Is that something that you'll be looking forward as runners growing up, the amount of times being holding the ball?
Just explain.
Just,
yeah, sorry.
Geordie talked about how the last game is a pretty simple minutes of running time with the ball. Is that something that you're looking to keep higher?
Look, we'd love to, but I think I think round one was dominated by the conditions, by the heat, by humidity, and it wasn't the easiest thing to do. So there was a lot more kicking. I mean, I think in our game there's a massive amount of kicking. I'm not sure I've seen a test match like that. So, I think the weather's it looks like it's going to cool down a little bit. We still want to play our game. It's a combination of ball in hand and kicking, and we've got to be cognizant of the fact that defences want to come up quite quick and shut you down. So you've still got to play a kicking game, but certainly we'll be looking to to try to execute what we want to do really, really well.
What do you want to see from your team in this game?
Yeah, obviously we got a game plan that we want to attack and do this week, and just want the guys to go out there and do their job and express themselves and enjoy it, but also in the right. Like Foz said, it's a good opportunity for us to really bounce back, and this weekend's another opportunity for us to do that. So it's going to be good.
Ian, could you just speak to Sam Whitelock's special milestone he achieved during Richie McCaw on 148?
Yeah, look, it's a massive occasion for Sam and for us as a team. I think he's been a sort of a warrior for this team for obviously a long time, and to equal someone like Richie test matches for the All Blacks is a massive achievement. So I know how much we all know how much it means for him to put on a black jersey, and to do it for the 148th time is a very special occasion. So one that we just want to make sure we put a performance on that gives that sort of record a lot of respect, and then celebrate it with him afterwards. So, but I think just want to pass on to him and his family. It's a great honour what he's achieving.
From a player's perspective, can you just tell us what Sam means to the team and what he has the guy with?
He's been around for a long time, with Sammy, but something that I really admire and obviously look up to is the way he's goes about his mahi. Obviously everyone knows he's a hard worker and he works hard, but for me I think just seeing him being able to grow and adapt to, obviously he's been here since the likes of Richie and Rito and that in this team, and then you've got the younger generation coming through, and something that I've observed of Sammy is the way he's able to relate to everyone and try and understand other people and other cultures and whatnot, and that's something that kind of for me is I look at that and I'm like, yo, I got your back. So that's something that I really admire about Sammy, and for him to be able to do this milestone, I know for him he will reflect on it after the game, but yeah, it's a huge honour for him and his family.
Ian, how far away was Sam Kane from being available?
Probably not that close. I think he's certainly progressing well, but probably not as close as we would have liked to be fit on Friday. So, because we're judging their process at the start of the week really, and he just wasn't as smooth. He had a couple of days that he sort of plateaued, but the last 2 days have been really good. So, so we're hoping that I would like to think that he's getting back into training next week. He's was certainly moving around well and running around the park today on the sideline better than what he was 2 days ago. So signs are really positive. Yeah, Geordie's the same. Look, to be fair with Geordie, it's a knee that's not too bad, but it's just the jarring of it that irritates it, and so we've had a chance to really just take him out this week and not try to even test it. So we'll be doing that next week in Bordeaux when we're there. But but he's actually behaving himself really well. I thought he'd get very impatient, being Geordie Barrett, but he's actually doing pretty good.
And Morgan, first success start, what was your message to him this week?
Look, just carry on the progress of what he's doing. It's an exciting time for him. You know, I think the times that he's come off the bench, he's done a really good job for us and learning all the time. He's gaining in composure, and it's a very real opportunity for him. You know, I know he'll be very proud to start, and to start at a World Cup is pretty special. So can't wait to see him go out there, and I'm sure there'll be a few nerves early on, but you know, he's a quality player. He's doing a lot of work behind the scenes and has impressed us in that regard. So love to see him transfer that onto the park.
How open is the backup halfback spot to Aaron? You've tended to go with Finlay in most of your big tests, but how open is it? Is that backup 9 spot?
Yeah, I think there's good competition there.
Artie, can you give us an insight to Cam Morgan? You obviously know him pretty well from the Hurricanes. What's he like?
Yeah, he's a quiet assassin. They got him, Cam. He's good. He's one of those guys that's really quiet, but deep down he's a competitor and he doesn't like losing. So, you know, like for example, like Nug was in the gym this week and he was pumping some good bench press weights, and I see Cam in the corner of my eye just watching him. Hey, go do your weights. But no, it's like I said it before, I think in another interview, like it's awesome to see Cam where he is, and I guess, and to see where he's come from and the journey he's kind of taken, and it's awesome that he gets the opportunity today. But yeah, he's a quiet man, but hopefully he's not quiet this week, but he really speaks through his actions.
What do you think, Gerald, mate? Have any useful advice for you this week while he was here?
Yep. Those who know Steve, he's got plenty of advice. So no, we had a great time. It was great seeing him in, and you know, we just let him sort of mix and mingle and watch, and but it was good to have him. And yeah, he just cast an eye over what we're doing, and you know, more about the mood of the camp and just where things are at, and it was a good thing for us.
Ian, some of the numbers that emerged this week about teams and how they like to play and not keeping the ball for longer than 20 seconds or 3 phases. Is there anything new to you, and how do you combat that? Teams that don't want to play, that want to keep the ball moving, basically.
Yeah, look, it's the thing is we don't coach by stats, but we use stats, and so stats give you an idea of how other teams are going, how you're going, and you know, we've got a clear idea. If you look at, you know, the way we play, we've always been a team we've looked to strike early in phases. If you look at the 2 tries we got against France, very much about that. And I think the conditions meant it became harder and harder to play a multi-phase game, and those when it was hard to actually control the ball, you saw the ball sort of pop out in contact, not only in our game but just about in every game in that first round. So you had to be really careful that when you did want to play a retention game, that you were doing it in the right ends of the park, and you were doing it in a situation that you still, I think, had momentum. So I think you've got teams that if they're not going forward, they're going to probably kick a lot more than perhaps what they usually would, and maybe there's a good lesson for us there.
Do you see common themes in the way teams want to play you?
Yep, but they've been around for a while. But every team's got a different strategy. You know, and I think France's strategy against us was pretty consistent with how they've played regularly for the last 2 years. So I'm not sure it was particular to us. And like I said at the time, I think largely I thought there was, for a significant part of that game, I thought we were dealing with that really, really well. And so whilst the result, you know, victors are always grinners, and their strategy is always right, we've taken some painful lessons, but we're still strong believers in what we do, and we've just got to make sure that shows up this week.
Jan, I guess you have reviewed many times the game. If you remember, action 24th minute, 40 seconds. You have four forwards. The French defense is open. They have Jalibert, the weakest defender, and they choose to go to the hooker. How can you explain that? And what do you tell to the boys when they make such kind of decision?
Sounds like you need some sleep, correct? 24 minutes and 36 seconds. I know what you're talking about.
Seconds.
Yeah, look, the game's about decision making, and the game is about sort of getting your structures in place, and then you make decisions within that. I mean, and I back our players' decisions all the time. You know, do we get them all right? No, we don't. And sometimes our communication is in rugby is not quite the same. Is not quite where it should be, and I get all that. But you know, if you looked at every missed opportunity you had, and that's what coaches do, and that's what teams do. But every team misses opportunities. The good thing in that game is the amount of opportunities that we created for us, and we looked at it and think, well, we didn't execute as well as what we can, so let's just go away and learn and take that on. But you know, generally I think we're pretty good at choosing where the space is. And do we get it right all the time? No, we don't. Is that pressure? It's always related to pressure, and that's what World Cups do. So some nice lessons for us about how to be calmer and maybe execute a little bit more under pressure. But you know, we've got another opportunity on Friday to do that, and that's our goal.
As skipper again, how closely do you work with Sam Kane? Even though he's obviously not playing, do you guys still work quite closely together during the week?
Yep, 100%, and with the rest of the senior leaders around the team.
And do you look at this next game at all as a chance to perhaps experiment with anything? Or is it just something's away?
I wouldn't use the word experiment. We've got a couple of areas we want to really focus on, and probably not gonna share what they are just yet. But I mean, there's facets of our game. I think in pool play, you've got to make sure you grow your game. You've got to get, and at the same time, you've got to get your performance right, grow your game, and be forward looking. And so there's things we've taken out of, you know, part of our plan is the last 2 or 3 games. There's some areas that we actually feel we need to get a bit more of an edge in. So this is a chance for us to do that. So. And so, yes, you overemphasise a couple of areas when you go into we will be this game, but it's important that we get those focuses right, but at the same time get the balance of winning a game of rugby that we really want to go out and perform well and do.
And should we be expecting more attacking kicks from the captain?
Well, I said at the time, it's a pretty special try that. Because
he doubted me all week.
I doubted him all week, to be fair. Well, you would have doubted him too if you saw his first left foot chip kick that he did at training. But it's to be fair to Artie, he came to me and said, "Foz, there's a lot of space, and I'm going to try it." And I said, "Okay, well, let's have a look." And the first one was probably like my normal one-wood drive on the first hole of a game of golf, and when I shank it. But the one he gave it under pressure was pretty special.
You played against Namibia 4 years ago. What are your recollections of that game and how they sort of approached the match?
Yeah, physical. They've got big men who don't step; they just run downhill. So, you know, that's something that we've identified as a team and in our defence. That it's one of their strengths. So, yeah, we're going to look forward to that on Friday.
Ian, do these All Blacks after these last 2 games just need to kind of rediscover a bit of identity, their confidence, just something? Is there something kind of that this group needs to refine?
I don't think so. I think it's there. I think it's you know, we had a really tough start. I mean, the South African test, like I keep talking about it, but I think it was in between a championship and a World Cup. I think there were a lot of variables in that game that delivered that performance. So, and I think that, but we went into that France one, and I think there were enough signs that we're we understand our game. I think we've got to do some more adaptation to conditions. That's one thing. I think that we still want to play, but we've also we know that in those big games you've got to get some basic things right. You've got to get your set piece right, and if you start to creak there, or you misinterpret what the ref's wanting, and you're not quick to adapt, then that generates pressure on a team. And I think that was the one of the big lessons, or the learnings for us in that France game. And so we've got to get that right. And so I've probably given you a pretty good clue about what's a big focus for us on Friday, and that probably reflects in the selection of sticking with the 4 props largely that we use, and we need to fix up some areas there. So, and I think once you get a couple of, they get consistency in those big rock parts of your game, I think the rest of the game is sitting there ready to go, but we've got to show that.
Guys, we've got time for one more before we bring in the next group. All happy? Sweet.
Thank you.
This one.
Just in case there's anyone who isn't too sure who these gentlemen are, we've got Caleb Clark, Lester Whainganuku, Cam Roigard, and Damien McKenzie down in the fire. Thanks, team. Thanks, Christian.
Damien, how exciting for you for this week, your first World Cup game, starting at 10. How much are you embracing this opportunity?
It's obviously very exciting to get named for the first time at a World Cup, and to get play alongside some of these boys in their first game as well. It's pretty special. So really excited about the opportunity to play this weekend against Namibia and be here in Toulouse. So excited to just rip it on Friday. Can't wait.
And Cam, for you as well. First start, World Cup. Just talk through your sort of excitement and your emotions ahead of Friday night.
Yeah, I suppose it's been pretty surreal. I suppose since I did get named in the squad, hoping that this sort of moment would eventuate, and for it to be just around the corner is pretty exciting. D-Max sort of touched on it, but it's been it's been a good week so far, and along with D-Mac and Caleb here with our first potential game is pretty exciting.
Blending quite well, that new 9-10 combination for you guys?
Yeah, potentially. We actually played together at the ABS 15 against Ireland. I came on late back into the game when D-Mac was still on, so had a little bit of game time together, but yeah, looking forward to Friday.
Yeah, how hard, Damien, is it to find a combination? You haven't spent a whole lot of time together. What do you look to do to foster that relationship?
Yeah, I've watched a lot of Cam obviously throughout the year and know how good he is and how well he plays, and I guess it's really important throughout the week you just make sure you get across all your detail and knowing what Cam wants from me and what I want from Cam. So yeah, so far we've had a good week. Obviously still learning a few things, but this is a really exciting player, and to play outside him I just give him some early comms, let him do his thing, and I said to Cam throughout the week, just trust what he does and we'll get behind him. So you're looking forward to playing outside him.
And Alisa is described as a quiet assassin. How do you feel about that, and how important it is to be loud, bullshit, the opposite in some way?
Yeah, I suppose that's probably pretty accurate from Ards. He probably knows me quite well now for being in the Canes and that, but I suppose I'm always trying to develop my game, and we know how important communication is on the field as a game driver, so trying to, I suppose, be loud where I need to be loud, and using my voice is, I suppose, crucial in my positions, and then I suppose trying to be myself off the field, which probably is a little bit introverted, but and a little bit quiet, but yeah, it's I suppose, well, yeah, it's well, sort of flustered here, sorry. Yeah, like I agree with what Art said anyway, but yeah, move on.
Cam, Arnie also said that you're very competitive by nature. It's only your third test and your first start. Do you think that's been a big assistance and driver to get to where you are so early on?
Yeah, definitely. I think I've always been competitive and always trying to chase the people in my position, right from Super Rugby to where I am now in here. So I think that's a big part of my development, like you sort of touched on. And then I suppose what I've sort of mentioned before, the ability to actually be myself, which is, although it's a little bit introverted, being competitive and trying to push myself and others around me is definitely a big part of, I suppose, trying to grow and be a better player.
Does playing on the right wing come easily or naturally to you?
It's a bit different, but I think I started off my career playing a few games on the right wing for both Auckland and the Blues, so I'm just grateful to be out on the field and to run alongside these boys, especially having Lester on the other side, just makes it extra special. So it'll be different, but I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Caleb, you noticed a lift in this group this week? Obviously not the start that you guys would have wanted to this tournament, but could you just talk to how the week's been? Has been a noticeable lift in the group at all? Or?
Yeah, definitely, and I think reflecting on the weekend, a lot of us are real hurt, just because we put so much into the week, and it was actually a real good training week as well, and so to not get what we wanted dampened the spirits, but I've always been told, it's just something what my dad always says, but a hurt All Blacks team is a dangerous All Blacks team, and so this week everyone's been on edge, training's gone really well, and so yeah, I think everyone's just excited for the challenge ahead this week.
Damien, have you got the green light to attack from wherever you want to, pretty much? I mean, do we, and with that, do we need to see the All Blacks kind of go back to your identity a bit and use the ball a bit more?
Yeah, we're always given the green light to attack and play, and trust and back our skill set. So obviously, there might be opportunities this Friday to do that, and I guess for us, we just want to make sure we're clinical and disciplined around our game plan, and the opportunities on to run, we run. Obviously, the big boys like us putting the ball in front of them through our kicking game, so clearly that was probably a learning from last weekend. But yeah, we've given the green light every time, and if there's opportunities to play, we play, and it's got some pretty lethal wingers here to get the ball to, so we'll be trying to do that, and just going there back in our instincts, which we've always given the licence to do that.
Lester, your Crusaders teammate, Sam Whitelock knocked us up a pretty special milestone, equaling Richie McCaw this week. Just what does he mean to this group, I suppose, and you know, as a younger player of this team and having been under Crusaders as well, was he, you know, been quite helpful for you coming into this environment and everything that comes with it?
Yeah, he's obviously back in Crusaders, such a massive figure, both on and off the field, and also obviously in this All Black environment. I think to get to where he is with no caps is, I mean, no hidden talent. I think he's a man that prides himself off his work. I guess the love and care he has for a black jersey, and yeah, his leadership around guys like myself, Caleb, and the younger boys, and also leadership, you know, really pays its value. He's a knowledgeable man, and he's definitely one that leads with action. So yeah.
And Lester, do you? I mean, you know, it's so competitive. It makes you wing it. You know, every game. Do you go in with the attitude that, you know, it's a chance for you to stake your claim. It's a chance for you to, you know, kind of earn something down the line. And, you know, how's your motivation for a game like this?
Yeah, I think in this environment it doesn't really matter who you put out in 23. I think for us, you know, there's not many things that motivate you. I think, you know, the black jersey, you know, we're blessed to wear, demands everything, and it's something we pride ourselves on. And you know, at the end of the day, you know, we want to win the games to get ourselves, you know, a playoff spot there and give us the best shot at winning this World Cup. So I think the competition, you know, it's awesome to be able to train week in, week out for some of the best talent we have in New Zealand. You know, it's only a benefit for us and a win. We're growing our game against you know, some of the best players going around, so it's a blessing. So yeah.
Cam, did you catch a result back home the other day or last night?
Yeah, I did actually. Wasn't able to watch it, unfortunately, because we were training this morning. But yeah, pretty stoked. It's yeah. Last time I didn't watch them because I was training as well. They won. That was on the weekend as well, so might need to stay away from the TV. Yeah.
Are we done? All good? Thanks, Tim.